Have you ever experienced a panic attack? Unless you have, you won't be able to understand just how terrifying it is. I'm your host, Chrissy B, and I used to have panic attacks on a regular basis for a 7-year period. And they were brought on by a phobia of death. But I'm happy to say that I've been panic attack free for over 21 years, so I know that they're totally beatable. And that's why today on the UK's only TV show dedicated to mental health and well-being, we are raising awareness about panic attacks and the other mental health issues around this disturbing condition, including anxiety, and giving you tips and advice on what you can do. Now, before I tell you about my guest today, I would love to hear about your experiences with panic attacks and anxiety. Let us know by emailing info@chrissybshow.tv or post on our social media at Chrissy B Show on Twitter and Instagram or The Chrissy B Show on Facebook. So here's what some of you are saying on Twitter. Gillian is feeling misunderstood, saying, my co-worker was telling me that my anxiety is all in my head. True enough, I guess. And that all I need to do is exercise because it cured her. Drugs are evil. Thank you. Yes, I'm sure if I do a leg lift, I will stop having panic attacks. This person says depression, anxiety, and panic attacks are not signs of weakness. They are signs of trying to remain strong for far too long. And here's a young lady who wants to set the record straight, saying, hi, just letting you know that anxiety isn't nervousness or anxiousness or being shy the first time you meet people. It's having panic attacks so bad that you literally cannot breathe or feel like passing out. Don't romanticize it or make it something it isn't. It's the worst. So let me tell you what we have in store for you today. First up, we see the story of Mary Lou Dupuis, who has panic disorder, and we follow her as she drives on a motorway even though she's terrified of having a panic attack or heart attack whilst driving. And now, although exercise isn't thought to cure panic attacks, it can certainly contribute towards a healthier mindset. So we also have another dynamic workout with Natalia Kotowska. I also speak to our resident psychologist, Dr Audrey Tang, to explain panic attacks and anxiety in more detail and what can be done. And Helena Chard brings us the news around this topic. And we also have on Severine Menem to show us a recipe that helps calm nerves and help with anxiety. And finally, Dr Opix answers your medical questions in this week's Doctor's Answers segment. So let's start our show with our real-life story, Mary Lou Dupuis.
There's forest around, lots of nature, very peaceful and serene. I like being here. Wish I could get out more, but if I'm gonna be at home, this is a great place to be. I have what's called panic disorder. I have these feelings of intense fear or apprehension when there's nothing to be fearful about. Like it can happen in the mall or in the grocery store. My particular issue is driving. You know, I'm very afraid of having a panic attack driving. In particular, I have a hard time driving on highways, especially in busy areas of the city, you know, where there's a lot of traffic, where I might be, you know, afraid of, you know, losing control of the car, having a wreck, having a heart attack, because that's part of the fear response, is the heart beating real fast, rapid breathing. I'm trying to talk about it, come out of isolation about it, and I'm trying to overcome my driving phobia. My goal for today is I'm going to successfully get on the freeway for a fast trip to the park. Here's my home. I take a couple of right turns. It's definitely affected my ability to work. It's affected my relationships. It's been very hard on my marriage. Take a left, go down this way, way up to Mount Bunnell, the park. You know, I'd like to do ordinary things during the day. I'd like to be able to work part-time. I would really like to, you know. When I'm driving and I start to have anxiety, I pay attention to my breath. Somehow getting oxygen to your brain, you know, just really, really helps. Sometimes I'll, like, turn the radio dial to show that I am in control, you know, that this isn't, like, overpowering me, that I do have control. There's lots of cars and I may have to wait in line, which I don't like. So there's cars behind me, there's cars on the side. I'm breathing. Okay, the breathing. Breathing is essential. Just chill. Just chilling. I am extremely lonely. I can't live my life in this house, just staying in this house all the time. It's unhealthy for me not to have more human contact. The last time I visited my mother driving by myself was Christmas 2011. She lives 45 minutes away by highway, and I'd love to go visit my mother. I mean, you know, she's my mother. Okay, so just me, but I always roll the window down before I get on the freeway to hear the traffic. Somehow it helps me because I know what I'm up against. We're getting on the freeway. We're doing just fine. Doing just fine, folks. Okay, we gotta go over one lane. It's too stressful for me to go on the highway. Though I love my mother-in-law, it's too much anxiety for me. It isn't worth it. It's just so difficult. Now we're coming on some traffic up here. Breathing. No, I don't feel like I see my mother often enough. I will need to go up there more. And that's what you do when your parents get elderly, you know. This is my mother. She's age 84. This is my father. He passed away 2 months ago. It's been a rough winter, you know. And, I don't know. See, when something like that happens, you look ahead and you realize your time's real limited. You really get in touch with your own mortality. I feel that each of us has a special, unique path in our lives, and that we can look to a higher power to help us find our way. Being in nature and realizing that we're a larger part of the whole, that helps us to figure out what our path is. And ultimately, it will be okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. Uh-oh. Now, this is not good because we've got major traffic. Okay. A little anxious here, but doing okay. No, I'm not. I'm really not. And it's just so hard. We're just afraid. I mean, it's just that there's something about highways. There's so much stimulation. There's so much danger. It's so fast. You know, there's so many cars. See, I don't like this at all. If I have a panic attack, there's no escape because there's going to be cars on either side. I'm breathing. Okay, the breathing. I'm fine. I'm serene. I'm calm. Ultimately, it will be okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, I can already see the sign up there, 35th Street. I'm very happy to be getting close. What's the sign say here? 1 mile. Yay, we're getting to our exit. Whoopee, I love our exit. Hey, we're about to get there. Okay, here we are. Out to Pinell Road. My goodness, I did it. So I get to go to this beautiful park. I'm really happy to be out of the house. It's great. I would tell people that suffer from panic disorder not to give up, that it does get better, that there's help out there, that they're not alone, that there are people who are professionals that can help them deal with the disorder. It does get better. It'll be okay. I will tell my mother that I drove on the highway, and she'll be very proud of me. She'll be very proud of me.
Thank you very much to the Mental Health channel for that video. And if you'd like to know more about them, please do head over to our website, chrissybshow.tv, and click on our contributors section and you can find them there. Well, now it's time for another dynamic workout with Natalia Kotowska because, of course, we know that exercise has been proven to help our mental health and well-being.
Hey guys, it's me Natalia Kotowska and Do It With Nat. As you can see, today we're gonna do some boxing exercise, something completely different, but I believe a great workout. So I have my assistant here, Carlos, who's gonna present us the moves that I will try to teach you guys. So you need simple pads that you can buy in any store, sports store for 10-15 pounds, and simple gloves. Positions. I'm gonna face Carlos. He's gonna throw basic 2 punches that we call a jab and a backhand or cross. So Carlos, jab, backhand. 1, 2, there you go. 2 simple punches, straight punches, full elbow extension, look through your shoulder, use your hips, use your core, and a backhand. So you wanna more likely look like that. You're using your core, tuck your belly button in, use your hips, use your legs. Yeah, 1, 2, Carlos, let's go. 1, 2, there you go. And again, 1, 2. Now if I say 4, we're gonna go for 4. Let's go, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. You wanna breathe out every time you punch. So try to breathe out while you throw punches. Breathe out while you throw punches. 4 punches, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. 2 simple punches. Again, jab and the backhand or cross. Now we're gonna go for 2 more. 2 hooks, hooks, side, side. You're aiming for, let me show it to you, cheeks if we go for a head. So think about that. 2 hooks, let's go, Carlos. 1, 2, there you go. Let's go again. 1, 2, and again. Use your hips, whichever side you wanna go for, there you go. Hip rotation is very important. Side, side, shifting your weight, rotating, rotating, yeah? And again, 2, hop, hop, there you go. 1 more time, hop, hop. And the last 2, we call them uppercuts. So again, because we go for a head, we wanna aim for that chin. So uppercut from underneath, underneath. Again, we're squatting to it, using our hips, going up, up. Let's go, Carlos. 2 uppercuts, hop, hop, and again, hop, hop. Perfect. So we have 4 simple punches. 4, jab, backhand, hook, and uppercut. 4 simple punches that we're gonna present you right now in 1 order, yeah? So jab, backhand, hook, uppercut. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Underneath. 1 more time. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, once you've got those 4 punches, you can mix the tempo, you can mix the power. We wanna go for a speed because we wanna burn those calories, increase our heart rate. So we're gonna go for 4 straight punches and then for our combo, which is jab, backhand, hook, and uppercut. So let's go, Carlos. 4 straight punches and then jab, backhand, hook, uppercut. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and from the beginning, jab, backhand, hook, uppercut. Yeah, 1 more time. 4 straight punches and then jab, backhand, hook, uppercut. Yeah, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. 1, jab, starting from the jab. Again. It's okay, it's something new, something difficult. So again, straight 4 punches, then we're gonna go jab, backhand, hook, and uppercut, yeah? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. 1 more time, the same thing. Straight 4, jab, backhand, hook, and uppercut. Yeah, let's go, Carlos. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hop, 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 hop. Add the speed to it. Even faster. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hop, hop. Again. Again, let's get it done, let's get it done. Let's show it to our viewers, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hop, 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 hop. And 1 more time, let's go. 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hop, 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 hop. There you go. As you can see, simple workout, but it's very, very effective and very hard. So you can go 4 punches, any punches you want, mix them all up, work for 3 minutes straight. 3 minutes straight, because that's how long the boxing round is. So try to work for those punches 3 minutes straight, okay? And then you can mix up the tempo, mix the speed, mix the power and the speed. So you want to work on your explosive movement with the power shots. How do you feel, Carlos?
I feel good.
Good? You think like the workout would work for you?
You're working.
We want those abs, we want those strong hands. So let's get it done, guys. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much to Natalia there and of course Carlos. So after the break, we'll be speaking to our resident psychologist, Dr. Audrey Tang, in our Psychology Matters segment, and also getting the latest news with Helena Chard in A Helping of Happy. But first, is this true or false? You can die from having a panic attack. Think you know the answer? Find out after this break.
It's important that you get the message across because a lot of people are scared to say what they're scared of, but they shouldn't really be, and they should just be confident in asking for help.
It's not scary to talk to someone about how you feel, and that everybody should try and talk to someone when they need help.
Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everybody, where we today are speaking about anxiety and panic attacks. So before the break, I asked you if this was true or false. You can die from a panic attack. The answer is false. According to verywellmind.com, many first-time panic attack sufferers end up in the emergency room out of concern that they are experiencing a medical emergency. Symptoms such as accelerated heart rate, chest pain, excessive sweating, and shortness of breath can all be perceived of as a frightening ordeal that needs immediate help. Now, panic attacks may have symptoms that imitate other medical conditions, but they are not considered life-threatening. So there you go. So now I have with me the lovely Dr. Audrey Tang to tell us more about anxiety and panic attacks. Hello, Audrey.
Hello, Chrissy. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. So we mentioned a few of the symptoms there, but can you actually describe what exactly is a panic attack and why does it occur?
It is those symptoms, and the whole problem with panic attacks, which separates them from anxiety, is they can just occur at any time.
Yeah.
Sometimes people even experience them before they're going to go to sleep, at the time when your body's supposed to be in its calmest state. So it can be very unexpected, and the worst part about those symptoms, plus things like getting sweaty, getting palpitations, feeling sick, and this fear of impending doom, those can accelerate really quickly, which leads to further panic.
Right.
So that's one of those issues. Now, it's difficult to actually find a trigger. With anxiety, it's a little bit easier because it tends to be slightly lower levels of those symptoms, and it's often in response to something. You know, you may be afraid of flying and you're about to get on a plane, or you've got an exam coming up. It's very easy to find what the trigger is. Because the panic attack might be something completely unrelated, a frequent flyer might suddenly have a panic attack before getting on the plane. A lot more work has to be done to actually find what triggered it, and sometimes it may not even be possible because that could have just been a one-off occurrence that will never happen again. So this is the problem with panic attacks and what differentiates it from anxiety. Anxiety, you usually know what the trigger is. Panic is just unexpected, often unexplained as well.
And in terms of what panic attacks do to a person mentally, how does that affect them?
Because of the acceleration of the symptoms, because of how out of control you feel, you don't know whether you are going to be sick, you don't know whether you're going to lose control of your bodily functions, you don't know whether you're going to have a heart attack. That's the fear that's going through your head. Because of that, people might start avoiding going out. You don't want to be in that position, you don't want to be embarrassed, and that's very sad. You might also, if you're a parent, you know your child has panic attacks, you might overprotect them and keep them away from everything. You can't do that just in case it brings on an attack. The fears, those feelings can lead to avoidance, which can then lead to isolation, depression, and then it puts in the whole host of other mental health issues. It's unpredictable. So again, it might happen once, and then suddenly in your mind, you become the person who has panic attacks. But actually, it might have only just happened once, but because it was so severe, we just need to even think about maybe an occasion of pretty severe food poisoning to make us not want to eat that particular food again. Panic attack can be the same thing. You may even avoid going to the place which you think might have triggered it, but again, that might not have been the actual root or trigger. So those are the issues that somebody who has that panic attack, because it's such an unpleasant feeling, you do think you're going to die. It's so horrible that it will then start making you feel, I don't want to be there again, I don't want to get into that position.
You'd do anything to avoid
again.
having one, wouldn't you?
And yet, it can happen just before you're about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's very hard.
And what do you think can be done then, Audrey?
There's a few things that can be done whilst you're in the panic attack, usually at the beginning stages. And so learning how your body responds is a very good thing. The thing that I think is very important, however, is to treat the work that you put into managing the panic attack in the same way as you do antibiotics. Just because you're feeling better doesn't mean you don't have to do the work. So with antibiotics, people have a tendency to be a bit, I feel better now, I won't take any more. With panic, you may not be having the attack at the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't practice visualization. You can't maybe practice yoga, practice breathing exercises, even prepare a kit. If you know that lavender is one of the smells that can be calming, it doesn't work for everybody, but if you know that's going to help, bring that with you. If you know that something else, an object might comfort you, bring that with you as well. Have that as part of your kit, but then don't panic if you don't have the kit with you. Some of the exercises you can do as you feel you might get into the panic attack is concentrate on your breathing, things like breathing in for 3, breathing out for 6, getting into that rhythm. Some people find stamping can actually help. Stamping in time with breathing can make a difference. Sometimes, obviously, if you're driving, pull over, but trying to stay in the situation and seeing it through whilst using affirmations from what they call the wise mind or the rational mind. This will pass if I leave it, this will go, I'm not going to die. Those sorts of things can be helpful at the time to calm you down. It might be even tell somebody about it. If it does happen very often, let people know so they know how to cope with it and how to support you and what you need. And then outside the panic attack, then consider things like visualization. We do a very good mindfulness exercise where you visualize your safe place, and you can think of that safe place. You make it very vibrant in your mind whenever you're in that situation, and the more you practice that, the easier it is to get back into it. Similarly, you can attach to it, say, an object. I wear my rings a lot, I wear my Fitbug a lot as well, and there, if you maybe visualize that place and touch whatever it is that you always have on you, that can actually bring you back to that meditative feeling sooner than trying to think about it as you can feel your breathing getting heavier. So those are a few things that can be done.
Thank you so much, Audrey.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you again next time.
Yes.
Thank you. So everybody, now it's time to go to the lovely Helena Chard for this week's A Helping of Happy. Welcome to the show, Helena.
Thank you, Chrissy.
So panic attacks and anxiety, what kind of news have you got for us today?
Gosh, I've got a few sort of case studies in a way. Father of 4, lovely Dr Audrey. He's 45. In fact, I think he's got 5 kids, not 4. He's revealed that he thought he was going to die during horrific daily panic attacks, which he used to endure. Yeah, I didn't realise. I didn't realise, And he used to long for clarity of mind and happiness. And this was for years and years and years. And he was too scared to speak to his parents because they were old school. So he didn't actually speak to anyone. He suffered in silence until he actually did speak to a medical professional. Once he started to understand the situation, the best thing he did was to talk to people, and he recognises it. So he's been talking out about it.
That's really good.
And he was saying that the medication he took was great because it helped improve his mental well-being, but it was the therapy that treated the root of his problems. And he had a breakthrough. He's now happy and he loves his job. He realises how lucky he is, and he's just so thankful for lots of things. But he opened up about mental health while pledging his support for Where's Your Head At, which is a new campaign, which is good, and it's aimed at getting a mental health first aider in every workplace or college, but sort of making it illegal something, which I think is really, really good. He's completely passionate. Peter Andre's passionate all the time, isn't he, about everything. But he absolutely, obviously because he's got his children, he recognises that he wishes he had that when he was younger. And also because of social media and filters and perfectionism, that more and more young people are developing depression and anxiety. Actually, something I read which was quite shocking is nearly a quarter of 14-year-old girls in Europe self-harm. In UK, not Europe, sorry. Nearly a quarter. I mean, that's really high, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not quite a quarter, but that's incredibly high. So, yeah, children need the support system in place, and that's obviously what he didn't have. But he's talking about how lucky he is, and I just find him so enthusiastic and amazing. I've got this other lovely story as well, but it's quite long. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know. Her name is Jewel, and she's actually known as a 90s soulful sort of singer-songwriter, really successful. But something I didn't know about her is it's something now she's really pushing. She's the voice. She's a key voice in fighting, you know, anxiety, depression, and abuse. She went through that when she was younger, and her struggles that she had. She was homeless, child abuse, sepsis, and it all took a complete toll on her mental well-being. But she wanted to retrain her brain, which she did do, and she has done, because she didn't want to be a statistic. Because a third of parents who are children of abuse are likely to go ahead and do the same thing. And she was pretty good and very strong, and she didn't allow setbacks to set her back. So it was really good. She started panic attacks at 16. I don't know quite how old she is now. But it was the whole thing that she now wants to teach the masses her techniques that she's doing. She's got her website and book out and various things. And her thing is visualization, as we know, but one of the things she does is that because she has panic attacks every day, but she says she actually knows when she's about to get one, which I think is quite unusual because it normally takes you by surprise, doesn't it?
I knew when I was going to
get
them.
Yeah. Because that's a regular thing, So she'd what she did is, this is how she rides it out, basically. She'd visualise, because also she's from Alaska, so it's all very creative, everything that she uses. So she'd visualise being on a boat on a stormy ocean, imagine herself falling backwards into the water and just sort of floating downwards to the sandy bed. So seeing the colours of the sea, the light twinkling, she could feel the salt on her lips, and it was just a very calm, peaceful fall. And when she'd get to the bottom, the attack would have passed. And that's how but again, it's a lot of training to get to the point where you can do that. But so she continues to be an advocate for health and well-being, and as I say, it's her mission to help everyone work towards a happier life. So yeah, really nice.
And that would be to get rid of them completely, I would say.
I would say, absolutely. But that's Jewel, so that's an interesting one.
Thank you so much, Helena.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Absolutely.
Well, next week, actually.
Next week. Yes, you will.
Thank you. Well, everyone, after the break, we have on Severine Menem to show us a recipe that helps calm nerves and anxiety, and she'll also be answering your nutritional questions such as this one. I tend to get very sleepy whenever I eat red meat. Is this a sign that I should avoid meat altogether? Find out what she has to say after this break. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, host of the UK's only TV programme dedicated to mental health and well-being, The Chrissy B Show, which airs on MyTV Sky 191 every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Follow our social media on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter at Chrissy B Show, and our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. For more information, visit chrissybshow.tv. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, where we are homing in on panic attacks and anxiety. So, as you know, we do love to cover nutrition on this program because it does have a big part to play in the way we feel. So today I have with me our nutritionist, Severine Menem. Welcome to the show, Severine.
Hi, Chrissy.
So lovely to have you on, Severine. A very important topic, as usual, because all our topics are important. But can you just tell us, first of all, what foods can we eat that are calming and, you know, help us to be less stressed, would you say?
Okay, so there are a number of foods. None of them give you an instantaneous relief, but if you eat some of them for 2 to 4 weeks, you might see a significant difference.
Okay.
So the first one would be a salmon, and more generally oily fish, because they're really high in vitamin D and omega-3, as in EPA and DHA. And these nutrients really help increase the neurotransmitters called serotonin and dopamine, and they have a very relaxing and calming effects.
Okay, good.
So the recommendations are 3 times a week.
Right.
And it's good to have a mix of all the oily fish.
Right.
You know, the smashed salmon, mackerel, anchovies, and herrings.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is green tea, because green tea contains L-theanine, which is an amino acid, which helps in 2 ways. The first way is it helps produce more serotonin, as we see is a calming effect, but also it helps with reducing the nervosity, the impact of the stress signal.
Okay.
So it's really calming, and ideally to have 1 to 3 cups a day in the morning, so that it doesn't disturb the sleep.
Oh yeah, because of the caffeine. Yeah.
Because obviously you want as much sleep as possible
Yeah.
to deal with these kind of issues.
Okay.
Food really good with serotonins are also banana, oats, turkey, and eggs, dairy, and meat. And in dairy, the best one is yogurt with live cultures.
Right.
Which means, when you look at the label, it says the cultures, as in, the good bacteria and so on.
Right, okay.
And that's because it helps inhibit the free radicals and the neurotoxins to get to the brain.
Right,
So the healthier the brain, the better it is to deal with anxiety. And the last one is dark chocolate.
Right, okay, everyone's favourite, right?
Yeah, dark chocolate, in my opinion, is good for everything. Because dark chocolate has an antioxidant called flavonols, and this helps in 2 ways: produce more serotonin, again, and also it helps with the blood flow to the brain.
Okay.
So it helps with the brain functioning at its best. So again, it helps with anxiety.
Okay.
And a study said that only 40 grams of dark chocolate a day for 2 weeks has a calming effect.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've got to start doing that then.
So it's not much, but it's a good excuse to have
everything
chocolate.
helps, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you mentioned some bananas today, and you mentioned oats, and you mentioned yogurt and the cocoa. So I can see
Exactly.
where we're
So
going with
it's
this.
all
what we're
about
making today.
anti-anxiety food.
Okay.
We're going to prepare an overnight oats with banana and yogurt, and it's more as a breakfast.
Okay.
So it's very quick to prepare. It's best to let it soak. To let the yogurt, the most of the yogurt, be absorbed by the oats for an hour, but overnight would be ideal.
Okay.
So the idea is to use a recipient. So I use a glass box so that there is no toxin from plastic.
Okay.
About a cup, so that would be 200 grams. Yes. Oops, I'm making a bit of a mess. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So that would be about half of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be 1 cup. Then half a cup of yogurt, or a bit more if it's a thick yogurt.
Okay.
I'm going to add probably all that. Actually,
How many people would this serve?
I would say for about 3 portions. So
Yeah.
either
Okay.
you can keep it for up to 3 days in the fridge,
Okay.
or you can have a family of 3.
Okay.
Mashed banana.
Just one?
Just
have a fork
one.
here somewhere.
Yes, there is. So you can add more, but if you add some honey, I think a ripe banana would be sufficient.
Okay.
Do you want to mash it?
Yeah,
or do you
sure.
want me to do it?
Okay. I shall mash it. Bring it closer to me. The riper, the easier it is to mash, right? This
Yes,
one's not
and the
so
sweeter
ripe.
it would be.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
Shove it
fine.
in?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then I would add about a tablespoon of cocoa. So the darker the better, no sweeten. That's good. And then, some honey. Honey, I would say, is optional, but because we're getting into winter, honey has some antibacterial properties, and it's sweetened, so it's natural, it's perfect. So again, about 1 tablespoon. Oops. So that would be it. And you mix it all together. and that's pretty much it. So it can be done in just a few minutes.
Okay, it's very simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's delicious. So you can, in the morning, you can even have it cold, or you can reheat it.
You can heat it?
You can reheat it, so eat it warm as well.
Oh, okay.
And it's always nice to add some berries or some fresh fruits, for the crunchiness and a bit more sweetness. But yeah.
I normally have yogurt cold, but you've reminded me of a recipe that my sister used to make years ago.
Really?
It had yogurt in it, and she used to put it in the oven. It was delicious. Oh, you brought back memories now. Oh, you carry on doing that, and I'll ask you the questions from the viewers because we're running out of time. Okay, so you carry on stirring. So this viewer's asking, by the way, if you have a question for Severine, all you need to do, or any of our nutritionists, all you need to do is email us on nutrition@chrissybshow.tv. So this person's asking, I tend to get very sleepy whenever I eat red meat. Is this a sign that I should avoid meat altogether?
It's a sign that there is something going on. Before avoiding any red meat or meat in general, I think it's always good to find out what's going on. It could be very simple and solved very quickly, or it could be a bit more complicated, but get help with a nutritional specialist, I think would be easier.
Okay, just to see what that's about. Okay. Next question. I've started making my own organic oat milk and it's really easy and tasty. However, because it's natural with no emulsifiers, it separates. Is there anything natural I can add to it that will stop it from separating?
Yes, there is. There are some natural products. So there is xanthan gum, which is a byproduct of the fermentation of the corn sugar. Highly natural. You would add just 2 grams to 500 milliliters of oat milk.
Okay.
In a blender, pulse a few times, that should be it. You can always
with
add
the milk,
with the oat milk,
okay.
the natural one. You can use agar-agar, which is from seaweed, guar seeds, which is from the guar gum, from the guar seeds, or flax seed as well. You've got different options to test with.
Nice. Okay. And one last question for today, Severine. I often feel nauseous after eating certain foods. I've been to the doctor and have done tests, but nothing shows up. I don't want to stop eating these foods as I enjoy them. What should I do?
Okay, so it's a bit like the red meat situation. It's very tricky. It could be a number of things. It could be that you're eating too much of this food, that you're not producing any digestive enzymes to digest them, that you have developed some intolerance. Doctors look for pathologies. So you might have something which is not a pathology, but it's like something not functioning quite well in your body. So you can do blood tests, or there is what we would do as nutritional therapists is to elimination diet.
Right.
So we just eliminate all the food that are the triggers to your symptoms, make sure that you have no symptoms and stay symptom-free for 3 weeks. So you remove them for 3 weeks, and then you reintroduce one food at a time, just a tiny bit, and see what's going on. Okay. If nothing happens, that's good. You can keep eating them now and then. But if the symptom reappears, then it's best to just remove it again for 3 weeks.
Right, okay.
But I would highly suggest to get the help of a professional on that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because again, it can be nothing, or it can be something more serious.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Severine. I want to taste this.
Oh, cool.
Should we get a spoon? Where's the spoon?
Yeah, it looks
There's one here.
Yeah,
you guys can't see it, but I'll take some out for you to see on the spoon. Doesn't that look yummy and nutritious and delicious? Do we have the shot?
You can always add some cocoa nibs for extra.
Oh, okay. For extra crunch.
Yes.
Or some nuts and stuff,
yes.
right?
And nuts, yes.
Very nice.
Do you like it? It should be refrigerated at least for an hour. So
I'm
surprised after 10 minutes.
Going back in, forgot about the show. I don't normally put banana and yogurt together.
Okay, how come?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't think I would like it, but this one's very nice, especially with the chocolate. All right, guys, that's all we've got time for. But if you have any questions for our nutritionists, all you need to do is email us on nutrition@chrissybshow.tv. And if you'd like more information about the lovely Severine here, you can go to our website, chrissybshow.tv, scroll down, and all her details are there. Thank you, Severine.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Well, after the break, we have on Dr. Rob Hicks to answer your medical questions, including this one. I would like to know why I sweat during the night. See what Rob has to say after this.
If you don't talk about it, you could keeping all those worries in can cause depression and anxiety. I think it's very important so that people know what's going on, and also know how to fight it, and so they know that they can talk to people and don't feel scared.
Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everybody. So now it's time for Doctor's Answers with Dr. Rob Hicks. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Feeling quite good, actually.
That's really good.
Yeah,
to
I'm ready
hear.
to answer questions.
Wonderful. So we've got some questions from our viewers,
Okay.
as we always do. And by the way, if you have a question for Rob, all you need to do is email us on doctor@chrissybshow.tv. So first question, Rob. I would like to know why I sweat during the night. I don't have the heating on, so the room is quite cool and the weather isn't hot. But for some reason, I wake up with the bed sheets damp from sweat. This happens whether I sleep naked or in a t-shirt and boxer shorts. I'm a 44-year-old male.
This is something that needs to be investigated,
Yeah.
actually. There may be a very simple explanation, but one should never jump to the conclusion that it's down to, for example, hot bedding. I mean, he may be in a cool room and, he may be sleeping naked or in light clothing, but if he's got a very thick duvet and blankets, then he may well sweat. I would recommend that you do have a checkup with your doctor to investigate what this might be caused by, particularly if you've got specific symptoms as well, such as a cough or fever or diarrhea, or you've been losing weight for no apparent reason. Those are symptoms that are often involved with nighttime sweating when there might be an infection involved, for example. So that's one of the medical explanations, is it's often down to an infection. TB actually causes night sweats for many people. It may be down to another medical problem, sort of a hormone imbalance. So this is why I think you ought to get yourself checked out. In the meantime, there are other things to think about. If the bedding might be too hot or too heavy, think about just using a sheet or no bedding at all. It may be down to something else that's lifestyle related, so maybe you're drinking too much alcohol during the day and the evening, maybe you're misusing recreational drugs, and that can cause night sweats as well. Or it may be down to a side effect of a medication that you're taking. So have a look at the information leaflet of anything you might be taking to see if night sweats is a possible side effect. Don't stop the medication without talking to your doctor, obviously, but go and see the doctor if you think that might be one of the issues. And then, of course, let's think of the emotional side of things. Anxiety, things churning around in your mind when you're asleep may often cause a lot of people to sweat as well. So I think, if you're feeling anxious about something, you're stressed about something, or you may even be depressed, that could be one of the reasons, and indeed that would warrant you having a chat with your doctor as well. But I would urge you, get this checked out. Don't sit around. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Brilliant. Next question, Rob. Lately, my fingernails have sort of been peeling. They are not breaking, but they are weak towards the tips and the nails separate into two. Does this mean I am lacking a particular nutrient? I haven't changed my diet recently.
You know what, this is actually a very common question that over the years I've been asked, because and people are often quite anxious about asking because they think it's cosmetic, but it can represent a significant issue. There is a general rule of thumb that we use. If the peeling is of the fingernails and the toenails, then it's likely to be caused by an internal problem. So it might be down to a medical problem like iron deficiency, for example, or an underactive thyroid or dehydration. If it's just the fingernails but not the toenails, or vice versa, then it's more likely to be an external cause. And actually, for peeling of the fingernails, external causes are far more common. So, for example, too much exposure to water is one thing. So if you're repeatedly washing your hands so the nails get wet and then you dry them, the nails will dry out, and that will cause them to crack and to peel and to become brittle. And so ways around that is to wear washing up gloves when you're doing the washing up, and actually moisturize the nails. Use lanolin or use almond oil or coconut oil, for example. So that might help. Trauma to the nails is another very, very common cause. Biting of the nails, or using your nails as a tool, whether that's to scrape something off or to undo a screw, or to lever something. Nails are not tools, they're not there to be used like that. So of course that could cause chipping. So obviously avoid biting and using your nails as a tool, a household implement. And always remember to cut the nails short and to round them on the fingers. So file them so that they're rounded, and that will help. And then chemical exposure can cause damage. So it might be the colour nail varnish, it might be nail varnish remover, it might be the glue that's used to actually apply acrylic nails as well. So think about that, whether that might be the reason. And some people suggest putting on a clear nail varnish, say once a week, to try and protect the nails in the meantime. But again, if you've got, if you can't get to the bottom of what's going on, and particularly if you've got other symptoms as well, then have your doctor have a look at your nails to make sure there's not an underlying medical condition that needs treating. But otherwise, try those things first.
But round fingernails aren't fashionable, Rob.
Are they not?
No, the square ones.
Am I stuck back in the 90s?
If you want to have healthy fingernails, get them round.
Yes.
Okay, and last question for today, Rob. I've heard that it's important to regularly do a full body checkup with your GP. However, when I have been, they seem confused at what I was asking for and only did a check of very basic things. What should we expect from our GP when we go and ask for this?
Yes.
What's that about?
What you can expect when you go to your GP is a couple of things, really. I mean, in the UK, the NHS doesn't recommend full body scans and checkups. It doesn't recommend them as a routine. What it does offer is for people between the ages of 40 and 74 is every 5 years to have what's called a cardiovascular risk assessment check. So it's checking how healthy or at risk your heart and your circulation may be. And this is a free service provided through your GP, and the practice nurse will often do the tests with you. What that aims to do is identify early the possible signs and symptoms of stroke, heart disease, kidney disease, type 2 diabetes and dementia. And so you'll have your risk factors for these conditions assessed and discussed. You'll have your blood pressure taken, you'll be weighed, you may have your waist measured, you'll have a blood cholesterol check, and you may have your blood sugar checked as well. And then you'll have a discussion and given some advice about how to reduce your risk of developing these conditions. So for example, if you smoke, how to stop smoking, if you're overweight and need to lose some weight, how to do that safely and sensibly, and how to only drink alcohol within safe recommended limits. So that's the sort of routine check that you can expect to have between the ages of 40 and 74. And when you register with a practice, they'll often run similar checks as well. But otherwise, specific tests and checkups are based on specific things. So your past medical history, if you've had conditions that or illnesses that put you at risk, your family history of disease, if that also puts you at risk, and your current medical conditions, in case they increase your risk. So if you're not clear with your doctor, have a chat with your doctor again or your practice nurse to see what's relevant for you as an individual, what you need. Because if, let's say, for example, you drink a lot of alcohol, they may say, well, actually, we should check your liver function on a regular basis. So check out what you need as an individual and take it from there.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rob. And we shall see you again next time.
Yes, you will. Yeah.
Thank you. So everybody, now it's time to go to my thought of the day. So once again, I'd like to thank all of my guests on today's show, and I hope we've been able to give you a better insight into anxiety and panic attacks. So as I said at the beginning of the show, I did have panic attacks for a period of 7 years and anxiety. In my case, I knew what was bringing on the panic attacks. It was the fear of death that I had. So I wasn't just having like random panic attacks or waking up, just jumping out of my sleep, having a panic attack, as I know some people do. I could actually trace where the panic attack was coming from, because it would start with the anxiety about, thinking about death, and that would bring on the panic attack. So I always knew what the problem was. But what I'd like to focus on today is something that I was actually watching the other day. It was an expert actually, and she used to have panic attacks. I think she still has the odd one here and there. And she was saying, in her opinion, that when a person has a panic attack, they should embrace it, and they should embrace the anxiety and kind of go through it. Now, for me, that really didn't make sense, because having been panic attack free for over 21 years now, because I know it's possible to be completely free from panic attacks, I think the worst thing you can say to someone is embrace your panic attacks, embrace your anxiety, and just ride through it, because it's a horrible feeling. It's the most awful, terrifying, gut-wrenching, impending doom that you can feel. It's horrible to go through it. So if there's a way that you can actually get rid of panic attacks and anxiety altogether, you should go for it, as I did. And by the way, if you want advice on that, you can contact me personally on chris@chrissybshow.tv. However, having said that, I think an element of anxiety isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it does actually mean that you care about something. Plus, if you kind of listen to that anxiety, not in terms of embracing it and making it, it's a part of you, but actually it helps you sometimes to kind of trace what the issue is. So you need to kind of take a step back, acknowledge what you're feeling, and then ask the question, okay, why am I feeling this way? Has something recently happened that's made you worried? Has something changed in your life recently that, maybe it's even a good thing. Maybe, you're going off to uni for the first time, or, you're welcoming a new baby into the house, or, you're getting married. There's different things, even good things can bring about anxiety because it's something new for you, it's something unknown, and you do feel, it's normal to feel nervous, it's normal to kind of not quite know what to expect, and that does bring on an element of anxiety, but it's very important to identify why you are feeling that way, because then you're able to do something about it. You can put certain measures in place that you can actually deal with certain things, good and bad, that happen to you. So as I said, anxiety in itself, if as long as you use it as a tool to identify what's going on in your life and making positive changes, it can be like a kind of alert that something needs to be dealt with. That, I would say, is the only good thing about anxiety, because it kind of just identifies things that we need to deal with. However, I will never ever agree that anxiety is a good state to be in all the time and that it's a part of you, because I don't believe that it is. And if it is something that is ongoing, it's there for a long time, it's causing you panic attacks, it's causing you to get depressed and have all sorts of other mental health issues, something needs to be done about it. And if that means, going to see a professional, finding help your own way, definitely do that. Well, everyone, we have reached the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share with us, or maybe you have some comments about today's program or other past shows that you've watched, please do get in touch with us, because we do love to hear from you. You can email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet or Instagram us @ChrissyBShow, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you'd like to know more about my mental health journey, including the panic attacks I used to suffer from, you can visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Until next time, bye-bye for now.